Alright, Shalom. We had a couple technical difficulties, but we're back on. But yeah, basically, man, if you have that vibration, you're gonna leaven the whole lump, man. If you're being slothful in business, especially if you're an older brother, man. Brothers look up to you, and you can't have that amongst the brotherhood, man. Because that, it's gonna make everybody slothful at the end. I got a scripture right here in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 11. It says, even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right. So if you're slothful in business, that shows that, the work that you're putting out isn't, on the vibration that Yahweh Shem Yahushua would like it to be, man. Because we read in Revelations, we have to be fervent in heat, that we got to be hot in this thing, man. We got to be constantly in the scriptures, congregating with the brothers, and pushing out these videos, man, going out to the lines. It says, verse 12, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahweh have made even both of them. But the point is in verse 13. It says, love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Don't love being in that drowned out state, man, that America pushes, man. We not doing shit at the crib, man. You just laying around, lingering, man. Not doing nothing, man. Not meditating, not thinking upon nothing. You just dead, man.
I appreciate you, brother.
Come.
This is Proverbs 19:15. Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. So, you got.
Yeah, man. It says suffer hunger, man. Why, man? Because like it's written right here in 20 and 13. It says, "Lest thou come to poverty," man. Hunger. You're gonna get hunger because you're not reading these scriptures, man. We're spiritually eating this food, man, which is Yahweh Shai. And if you're not reading, man, you're gonna be hungry, man. Your spirit is gonna yearn for that understanding that wisdom, man. But since you're not reading, you're not gonna get it, man. You're gonna be hungry and you're gonna be in poverty, man. Because this word is likened unto money as well, man. Better than fine rubies, man.
And it says slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep. Now Romans, I believe it's 13 and 11 said it is high time to awake out of sleep. So when you come out the world, you're awakening up. So if you already awoken up in this truth and you're being slothful, it's going to cast you back to sleep. So that means you're going to go back into the world. You're going to go back to being a goddamn nigga, man. That's why the scripture says, give diligence. Matter of fact, hey, I believe that might be the name of the video. Give diligence, be not slothful, man.
Especially at times like this, man. You already see what's happening over there in Venezuela. All around the world, man, the chip being pushed very quickly. The dollar crashing. If you're not slothful, you'll be able to see what's really going on around the world. And like the brother said, it's right now is really the time to wake out of sleep.
What's that scripture? It says, the more you see the time coming.
Hebrews 10. I got another scripture though. This is Proverbs 19 and 24. It says, a slothful man hideth his hand in his bosom, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. So you hiding your hand in your bosom, basically you're not flipping through these pages, man. Putting your hand to your mouth, you feeding yourself, you studying, you eating, you reading, you watching the elders, you growing through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you praying, you fasting, But you hiding your hand in your bosom mean you just laying there, man. You ain't doing shit.
I got that Hebrews 10 and I'm gonna jump to the point. It's 25. It says, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more, and that's the point, man. So much the more as you see the day approaching, because we're already supposed to be fervent in this truth, which is proven by the scriptures that we brought out. But even now, how the brother said, especially now that we see the times that we're in, we're supposed to be doing that extra, man. Pushing it even more, man. Now that we see what's going on in Venezuela, man, what's going on in Syria, you know, how Russia and China are getting together and economically linking to push America out of the picture, you know. When we see these signs, we're supposed to be pushing even more, but
and shit, the weather, the earthquakes, you know, in diverse places, like the scripture said, you know, all that.
The earthquakes. Yep. This is back in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 13. It says, "Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread." So, man, knock that spirit off, man. In the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, rebuke that demon, and open your eyes, man, so that you know you start striving and reading these scriptures, and you can be satisfied with bread, man. Now you're actually reading, now you're eating, man, and and I'm sure brothers could attest to this, man. But you know, after you come out the line, man, after you do a sit down, after you're done reading, man, your spirit, you know, in a sense, feels refreshed, man, because you have eaten, man. You ate, man. Your spirit ate. You know, it's no longer in that state of hunger, man. You know.
You got this homecoming?
I got it. This is Galatians 6 and 10. I'm sorry, 8. It says, "For he that soweth to his flesh shall the flesh." For he that soweth to his flesh shall the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall the Spirit reap life everlasting. It says, verse 9, "And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." You know, it says, "Be weary." It says, "Be weary, be not weary in well doing." You know, that's talking about doing this work, studying, you know, and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, because if we stay on this path, man, and in due season we shall reap the kingdom. You know, and them incorruptible bodies, man. That's why you can't be slothful. You know.
Right. And can you read that again, Bible sir?
It says
from the top where you started reading.
It says verse 8. It says Galatians 6 and 8. It says, "For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption." But he that
because you sow into the flesh, meaning you following after the flesh, and you follow after the flesh, you shall reap corruption, meaning you're gonna destroy yourself, man. Because it's a constant battle between the spirit and the flesh, you know. And sometimes, hey, we just gonna be real, man. We in the flesh, or sometimes the flesh gonna win. But majority of the time, I want to say what, 80-20, 90-10. You know what I'm saying? That the spirit should rule over your flesh, man. So, but if you sow into your flesh, you're gonna sow destruction. And you see how the Lord keep likening it unto work. Even when you're doing wickedness, it's still work, because you sowing unto your flesh. So when you reap of your flesh, you're going to reap destruction, man. That's what corruption is, man. You're going to corrupt yourself. Go ahead, brother.
It says, "But he that soweth to the Spirit
But if you sow unto the Spirit,
shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting."
and what's sowing in the Spirit, man? Doing this work, man. Studying, reading, watching, praying, fasting. Go ahead.
It says, "And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not."
Exactly, man. You shall reap if you faint not. If you being slothful, that means you fainted. You got tired. You got something else?
I had this is 2 Timothy 2 and 15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." That was it.
I mean, hey, that's self-explanatory.
You won't be ashamed in that day. Neither will you be ashamed when brothers ask you for a question, man. You know, because really we're supposed to be feeding the flock. So how are you gonna feed the flock if you don't know the answers, man? You'll be found ashamed, man.
That's why we don't study for ourselves only, but for all those that seek wisdom.
Going right here. This is This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 18. By much slothfulness, the building decayeth. You know, and we are a building, man. Our house, our body is a house, man. You know, and really, we're supposed to be building our house upon a hard rock, man, as it's written in Matthew, man. You know, learning this truth, man, applying it to our life, so that we may have that whole armor, man. You know, and we solid in this truth, man, and strive to attain eternal life, man. You know, but with much slothfulness, you know, you let days go by. You know, if you get that in Sirach, where it says, tarry not to seek to the Most High, it's in that comfort you get destroyed.
Sirach, 5th chapter.
Come on.
Can I precept you real fast?
Come on, go ahead.
This is Matthew 7 and 24. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock.
Yeah, because we're building our house, man, and it's talking about the same building that's talking about here in Ecclesiastes 10 and 18, man. We're building ourselves up through these scriptures, man. And it says that if you attain to those sayings, these sayings, the ones in the scripture, not just any sayings of the world, but of the scripture.
Mm-hmm. What's the sayings of the scriptures? Give diligence. Righteous men study up to answer. Being not cold or lukewarm, but being hot, but being fervent in spirit, not slothful in business, as all the scriptures we brought out, man. And which is plenty more in here, you know. It says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. You know. So hey, it's like that's the spirit. I was just gonna say that. I was gonna call it a parable. I didn't know what to call it, whether a story or a parable. But whatever it is, it's the story of the three little pigs, man. The first two was fucking slothful. The one built it with straw, and the other built it with sticks, man. They was being slothful because they tried to hurry up and build the house and then go do some fucking folly. And what happened? The fucking wolf came, blew it down, and ate their ass, man. But the third one took his time and built this house up with bricks, man. He built it on a rock. So when the wind blew, which they just said the wind blew, so when the wolf came and blew on it, when the winds blew, when the storm came and rained, man, it didn't fall, man. It stayed sturdy. Because he gave diligence to build up his house sturdy, man.
And if I'm not mistaken, that wind is talking about affliction, man. You know, because if you really apply these scriptures and apply it, and not just hear them, but apply them into your life, you know, every little which wind that comes your way of doctrine. Yeah,
because I was going to say that's what it's really talking about. The rains and floods and winds is talking about the false doctrines that's coming. Because it said, basically, be not swayed with every wind of doctrine. I just butchered it, but.
Salaki, yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, basically, man, if you don't, read this roll and take this truth and be fully persuaded in your own mind, you know, any little doctrine is gonna, knock you off your square, man. You know, and that's part of being slothful, man, because you didn't go into these scriptures and make sure that what it's speaking about is 100% truth, man. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm back over here in Ecclesiastes 10 and 18. By much slothfulness, the building decayeth. So if you neglect to go into these scriptures, you know, and keep feeding yourself, your building is gonna decay, man, to the point where eventually you're gonna be casted out, man. You know, because what happens to a decayed building, man? It breaks down and it falls, man.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and through idleness of the hands, the house droppeth through. You know, and that's the point, man.
Yep. I got another one for you. This is Luke 14, and I'm going to start at 28. It says, for which of you attending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? It says, lest haply after he have laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. Saying, this man began to build, and was not able to finish.
it goes back.
And that could be numerous things, man. But the main point we focus on is being slothful. You know?
Yeah, it goes back to that scripture that the brother brought out. It says, make diligence to make that calling. What says
you give diligence to make that calling and election sure.
A workman needed not to be ashamed.
Oh yeah, kind of study to show thyself approved.
Yeah, study so yeah, kind of a workman that needed not to be ashamed, man. That man that couldn't build his house, man, he was ashamed, you know, because he considered not the cost, man. You know, ended up being slothful.
Yep. You was holding something, brother? No, you was holding that Sirach, brother.
This is Sirach 5:7. Make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, and put not off from day to day.
That's that slothful shit, man. You're like, oh, I'll get it to it next day, man. You know, oh, all right. You know, maybe not today. I'm not feeling it. You know.
Don't be that tomorrow, man. I'll do it tomorrow. I got time. I'll do it tomorrow. It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
That building for sure gonna fall, man.
Because in Isaiah 33:6 says, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times, being stable. So wisdom and knowledge was going to keep you stable. That house, because you that house. So what's going to keep you stable is the wisdom and knowledge that you have, man. And if you don't have, and if you're not studying and watching and praying and reading to get that wisdom and knowledge, then you're going to be unstable. Then that house going to be blown down, man. That house is built upon sand, as the parable in Matthew, you know. This is Proverbs 21:25. It says, the desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse to labor. I'm going to read that again, man. It says, the desire of the slothful killeth him. Because what's his desire? His desire is that to sit there and be cool. To fucking a bullshit around. It says, for his hands refuse to labor, man. And the Lord, hey, bottom line, man, if you slothful in this thing, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to destroy you, man.
It's going to spew you out of his mouth, man.
And he's going to destroy your ass, man. You holding something, brother?
Shit is basically like, man, you being lukewarm, you know, being slothful in this thing. You're gonna be likened unto that person that got the truth and rejected it, man. Because yeah, you know about this truth, man, and the work was given unto you, but you lack that strength to keep going, man, or that will to do the work, man. So what's gonna happen, man? You're gonna get spewed out, and like the brother said, man, at the end of the day, man, you're gonna get destroyed, and it's gonna be worse for you than for the person that didn't even fully accept this truth, man. Because you did accept it, but now you're just being slothful, man. You know.
Yep. Your brother's not holding anything.
I'm not holding it, but I just thought about it, man. You know, it says, get the message right and plain upon the table so that you may run that readeth it, man. You know, this is it didn't say that you could walk or like fucking drag your feet when you read it, man. It says run, man. You get this truth and you start running with this, man.
Well, I guess we ended on this scripture. Or you had the one about the act, no?
Oh,
We ended on that one. But this is Matthew 25, and I'm gonna get straight to the point. Verse 24. It says, then he, because this is basically the parable about Yahweh Shai giving the talents out to the men. One man received 10 talents. One, I believe it was 5. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start up. Slothful. This is I'm gonna start up, but I'm gonna jump down just so we can get straight to the point. This is Matthew 25. I'm gonna start at 14. It says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And what's them goods, man? It's this knowledge, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding. The man that went to a far country was Yahweh Shah. He went back to the to sit on the right hand of the Father, right? And his own servants is us, who he called. So verse 15. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. So right now I'm gonna keep reading. Verse 16. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded, meaning he went and did business, man. He wasn't slothful. He went and did the work. It says the 5 talents, Slakia. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. So he received 10 talents, man. Now I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna just jump down, because the other one that received 2 talents, he received, you know what I'm saying, he went and traded, he did the work, you know, he wasn't slothful, and then he doubled what he had also, right? So now I'm gonna scroll down to verse 24. It says, then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. Thou knewest that I reaped where I sowed not, and gathered where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. So you should have went and traded, man. You should have went and did business, man. You shouldn't have been slothful. Matter of fact, I just had that scripture in Proverbs where it says, hold on real fast. Proverbs 26 and 13. It says, the slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way, a lion is in the streets. So he ain't go out and do it, because it was a lion out there. The lion might kill my ass. Like it says in Sirach, a wicked man maketh an excuse, man. But go ahead, bro.
This is Proverbs 6 and 6. It says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provided her meat in the summer, and gathered her food in the harvest.
Right. So it says, consider the ant, thou sluggard. Go ahead.
It says,
consider her ways, right? It says, consider her ways. It says, who have not a ruler, overseer, or guide. We have rulers, we have overseers, and we have guides. We have the example set before us how to do it. The ant don't. So it says, consider the ant, and consider her ways, man. But she provide her meat in that time, man. So how much more us, man? Yahweh said, if you love me, feed my sheep, man. And how can you feed the sheep if you don't know how to plant and sow and get the food, man?
Plus, ants are hard workers, man. You know, they actually carry things that are double their size, man. You know, consider the ant, thou sluggard. You know, shit. Look at how much hard work it does, man, without even leaders. So shit, man. Put it to heart, man. What a hard worker really do, man. And consider yourself to be a hard worker. Shit, well, how much can you get done, man? Like in the talents, man. You know, he had 2 talents, but he did what he could with those 2 talents, man.
That's right.
You know, so what is given to you, man, to the best of your ability, you fight it and you push forward this truth, man.
Yep.
You know, don't put off from day to day, man, lest you be destroyed, man.
Because you teach what you know, man. You ain't got to know everything. You teach what you know. Whatever the Lord gave you, you use that, man. Whatever you use, just give diligence to use that, man. And ask the Lord for more, and ask him to increase you.
That's right. Because
he will, man. Proverbs, not Proverbs, but in James, it says that he that lacketh, I believe it's the first chapter, 1 and 5. Well, I guess we ended on that, James 1 and 5. Because Yahushua gave a parable about the earthly fathers and their sons. He said, what father, if his son asks for bread, he would give him a stone, man. So he said, if you know how to give good things unto your children, how much more the Father of spirits, man? How much more the Most High give to us, man? Goodly things, man.
And he also wrote to us and he said, anything that you ask in my name, I shall give to you. Man.
That's right.
You know?
Is that it though, James 1 and 5?
James 1 and 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh,
Mm-hmm.
that giveth to all men liberally,
Yep.
and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him.
See? So, with that, man, I hope you brothers are edified. I mean, we ain't got no more scriptures. You know anything?
That was it.
Alright, you know, with that, Lord willing, I hope you brothers are edified. You know, and all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to all you Achim around the world preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity and with charity. Shalom.
So,